in Baby Bell.
Adam's the one that starts to start class?
Here, click
I
on that.
know.
What type of cheese is in Baby Bell?
I'm usually
Yeah, Kristen, I'm going to have to ask that you take this class more seriously.
White cheddar, and Gouda.
Because they have different flavors. Original is the red. They have
No.
different colored ones.
but
It's
they
always the girl that's the most obnoxious.
She is. She's an instigator. The two instigators are sitting on that side of the room. All right.
I'm not,
Adam and Char?
I'm not the instigator, I'm the follow through.
Yeah, it's like the two instigators. It's like Isaiah's just like,
I'm out of here.
poor guy's like invisible. All right, so you have to go out to Blackboard. I put some assets out there that you'll need for the program tonight, the app.
It is
It is
the
like the 15th.
15th. It's
It's
the,
the Ides of March, but are we doing the March 14th asset file?
Yep, that's it.
old assets.
Yeah, the assets are a day old.
And $1 short.
Not for good.
All right. So yeah, just download those, have them at the ready. We're going to use those.
Is it 55 kilobytes big?
That's what. Never mind.
Stop. The assets are 55 kilobytes big.
They're 55 kilobytes big. Those assets are. So anyway, yes, that's them. All right. So let's start up a new Xcode project. Create a new one.
Go.
This will be This will be
Back to
Go.
single application.
single view, and let's see.
So
We'll just call it stackers. That all looks good.
core data or anything fun?
Nope, no core data and no Git repository.
Just stackers?
Sure.
And you want us to drag the assets into it?
Yep. Drag in the 55K big assets.
Create groups, copy items if needed?
Yes.
Finished. Whoa. Assets could be copied to stackers because not the same name already exists.
Oh wait, yeah, okay. What you'll have to do, all right, is go ahead and delete the assets.xcode assets that are in the project to start with. Just delete that. Just do it.
Move to trash.
Move to trash, and then go ahead.
Not the recycling?
Come on.
You should-
I couldn't help
We should
myself.
tell Volker that we didn't like the way the OSX recycling utility works, so we wrote a new one called the trash bin that automatically just takes everything out of the recycling bin and puts it in the trash bin.
You know, if I would have thought about it that time, that would have been much more fun.
All right, so if you go ahead and copy over that folder, you should end up with an app icon with the various app icon sizes, a logo, MSTC, and a star. So, which I guess I'll spend a little bit of time talking about the assets themselves. Assets. Anyway, so these are on a sprite sheet, or what's called a sprite sheet or image sheet, as opposed to being separate. You notice that there's no separate PNG files or anything like that, no separate image files. So they're in a what's called an Xcode assets file. And when you add, you can add items to this too. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and do a new one. You can add a new image set, new data set. So there's lots of different texture sets. So if we're doing a 3D sprite game or something like that, you can add a texture set, all kinds of stuff. So this is a more efficient way, really, of having your assets set up, so that when you call, like for example, we still call it the same way. Like we'll create an image, UI image, and pass in MSTC as the name of the image, and it will still pull it right out of here, just like it would if it was a separate file. But it keeps the app size a little bit smaller because iOS actually optimizes them this way, and then it's all in memory and it's just faster. So so that's why they're organized this way. And then for future reference, you can do these just like you do any other. Like you can do a new file and let's see. There should be. Here's an asset catalog. Yeah. So you can do that just like you do another file, and then it creates the asset catalog for you, and you can just add files to it. Used to be a lot harder, but they've made it considerably easier over the years. All right, so that's that. So tonight we're going to talk about stack views. So we're in the main storyboard here. As soon as it loads. This is it's killing me. All right, there it is. So stack views, I think you guys will actually like, especially you, Adam. If Nate were still with us, he would really like them, I'm sure. Because what stack views are, like if you click on the horizontal stack view, there's two kinds, horizontal and vertical. If you read the description, it creates and manages the constraints necessary to create horizontal or vertical stacks of views. So basically it allows you to lay out views in a stack format, either horizontal or vertical, and it does all the management of the constraints for you so that your views just automatically size correctly and position themselves correctly, and so it's just like magic. There are some limitations to it. The second part of the class is going to be showing you how to do it programmatically, because this is mostly going to be done through the storyboard. So what we'll do tonight will be more static, and then the last half would be done programmatically. But they are pretty cool. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and grab. Let's start off with the vertical. I'm sorry, this guy, the vertical stack view. Drag that over, place it on here. So the stack view itself does not have a user interface component. You don't see anything. It's just basically a container for the views that you put inside it. It manages the constraints, but it doesn't actually display anything. So you can't set any like visible properties on it. So the views that it manages are what you'll actually see. So let's drag this down a ways. We're going to make this guy, but what it does do is it creates a frame just like it would with a regular view, so you can see the width and height of it. So it creates, basically it adds itself to the main view up here as a subview. And it is derived from UIView, but it doesn't, like I say, it just doesn't display. So it's got no visible properties, but we're going to create outlets for this guy. So let's go into the assistant editor. Hey, got the right one. And do a control drag over to create an outlet for it. And we'll just call this guy horizontal stack view.
It's a vertical one though.
What's that?
It's a vertical.
You know what? I always do that. I mix them up because of the way they're oriented, the way the little picture looks. Vertical stack view.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's a little counterintuitive, especially for me, obviously. All right. Then underneath that guy will be our horizontal one. So bring the panel back out with the library, and we'll take the horizontal. Yep. Drag that over, put that down underneath the vertical, and then size it down so it goes down near the bottom, so you get the blue guidelines. Basically, size it up to the blue guidelines. All right. And then we'll create an outlet for that guy as well.
Do you want us to start the old simulator?
Already done.
Yeah, anytime you want, you can do that. So we'll cleverly name this one horizontal stack
You know,
view.
you really messed this up if you reverse the names.
Well, I was about to do that until you guys mentioned it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We do recycling stuff all the time.
So in our vertical stack view, this top one here, let's go ahead and create an image view, or drop an image view, I should say, on that guy. So we'll find the image view, drop him on there, size it up so that it is kind of like takes the available room. Where's my stack view?
Color it is.
Well, if you put it in the corner down here,
Oh, you're too smart.
look, oh, I did that and it went up.
Yeah.
And then actually, now that it's sized up, shrink it down a little bit. We have to make some room at the top for a label.
What happens if I can't get the bounds of my vertical stack view don't show?
That's okay. You can click on the vertical stack view and that'll kind of show you where they are.
No,
But it's not really critical.
it didn't show up.
It really is not critical to know where the bounds are because I'll show you in a minute. All right, so let's drop a label. Let's go ahead and bring a label over. And an easy way to do this, so it doesn't get confusing, is to drag the label over to your actual scene explorer over here and drop it underneath the vertical stack view and above the image view. And once you do that, you can see it creates the label up there on top. So all it does is when you create controls in a stack view, it takes up whatever control you put on there, it will automatically take up whatever space is available.
Mine is like shrinking.
Mine is,
It's really weird.
it shrunk my vertical.
Yeah, it keeps shrinking when I put the UI image view in there. It shrunk it to fit exactly.
It does.
No, like,
Is that the scale?
fit next to each other?
My label didn't go
But
in my
I'm
vertical stack. Do I want it in the vertical
figuring
stack?
it out.
Yes, you want it underneath the vertical stack.
Okay.
In between the vertical stack and the image view.
Yes, Isaiah is correct. See, I listened to you, Isaiah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. He says.
That's where I got mine.
Okay, so now with the image view, let's go ahead and set the image, and you can see they actually show up in here even though they're in the image sheet. So select MSTC, and now you can see your MSTC shows up on there.
How did you grab him?
I just went over to the property, the attribute inspector for the thing. Or how did I select it? Yeah, that's all I did. I went over here and just selected MSTC.
And I can't read the image.
The image view.
Oh, I guess I gotta be there. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then let's go back up to the vertical stack view. So if you select that in the view controller scene, axis is vertical, so it automatically sets that. It does give you the chance to actually change it on the fly if you want. These things are pretty flexible and there's not a whole lot of, they're relatively lightweight. Alignment. Now alignment right now is set to fill. Let's go ahead and set it to center.
I took my label.
Yep, took your label and moved it over. Yep. Distribution, let's set distribution to be equal spacing. And what that does is it will space the controls out equally, the spacing between them. So like if you have 4 or 5 of them, it'll create equal spacing inside the stack view. And then let's go ahead and set the spacing as well while we're at it. Let's set that to 30.
Well, that's cool.
So this, these alignments, so these properties here allow you to control the way the constraints are set up. The content mode, so what we want to do now is go to the image. Let's set the content mode of the image to be aspect fit. So it will maintain the aspect ratio. Back in the vertical stack, I think that should all work. Yep, that should all be fine. All right, save that off. Let's go ahead and give so what we're doing is we're going to build out a application that is going to allow the user to rate it. What you think of the app. Okay. And you notice that when you do that, like normally if you create a label and you type down the bounds of the label, it gets truncated. When you put it in a stack view like this, it automatically resizes it to work.
What do you think of the app?
Huh?
Hey,
Eh?
are you from Canada?
It's the Canadian version of the MSTC app. We already built the English version, now we're going to the Canadian one.
Hey.
Eh? We're going to inundate the Canadian App Store.
Do we need to create an outlet for a label too or not?
No, I think we should be okay without doing an outlet for it.
What about our image?
I don't think we need one for that either, actually. I think we're okay without it. That's the beauty of these things is that they manage these constraints. Like normally you'd have to have an outlet so you could manipulate it and stuff, but
What you think of the app?
It's not up yet, so I can tell you.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
It's a little offset to the left. That's what I think.
Mine.
Oh, did you use some constraints over there?
Mine is better than yours.
I just dragged the stack view to the middle.
Well, my stack view used to be the whole width, but for some reason when I added the MSTC picture, it.
That happened to me, but then I just took it and dragged it to
What about the image?
you can't adjust the width on them too. They are UI views, so they do have a rectangle, bounding rectangle.
You can't, drag it out though.
Oh, drag it out? Yeah, you may not be able
Center,
to.
though,
the
but
It's just like,
but you can't drag the width out.
Now that you got the image in there.
It will be whatever.
Ooh, that made it worse.
oh, well, you drag it. Maybe it's the, what size, what phone size?
5S.
I'm doing 6
I'm in 6.
minutes.
6.
My wife has a 5, so I do things in 5.
I have a 5 too, but I just like the 6.
Oh my, this is really slow.
Oh, we have enough time to do our quiz quick?
Yeah, you might. The rate this thing goes. All right, so
Questions every time.
you could also come over here and you can do the where it says position view. You can center it horizontally in the container. So that's with the vertical stack view selected. So
So where did you find that one?
if you go to the vertical stack view and then go over to the I don't know what they call this one, show the size and the size inspector.
You want it centered horizontally or vertically?
You want it horizontally, right? Because you're having issues with it going to one
It
side.
hangs a little to the left.
Oh my gosh. You know, if Volker were actually witnessed this class, I think it'd be even worse.
That made my, it's way over to the right.
What did you do?
I centered it.
It was just sitting there, Sean. I couldn't help myself.
I didn't really hear what you said, which is
I said
good.
It hangs a little to the left.
Oh, thanks for saying it louder, Adam. That's great. Oh, and then it said it couldn't attach to the iPad. That's just freaking awesome. There we go. Yeah, it's a little sketchy looking. I think it's because I'm scaling it, but yeah.
Mine looks great.
All right.
I positioned it horizontally too. I did it both and it's perfect. And
Yeah, it should be fine with it if you center it horizontally, unless you set some other constraint or something. All right, so what we're going to do, the fun part of this is coming up yet. This is all fine and well, but we're actually going to, what we're going to do is we're going to allow the user to rate the app like you would rate an app in the App Store with stars, and we're going to allow them to press a button that says add star and another button to remove a star, and then it'll add stars and it automatically will position them. So normally if you did this, you'd have to do the positioning yourself. You'd have to code it in such a way that you'd account for more stars. But with the beauty of the stack view is it will do that for you. All right, so what I'm going to do is stop it. And next thing we're going to do, let me make sure I got these properties right so I didn't miss something. Let's, yeah, the spacing's fine. Let's change it just so you can see how this works. Let's change this from equal spacing to fill equally. Now you notice what happens to our view. It pops way down here.
What happens when you run it? What do you call them then with the arms and the legs sitting in the hole in the ground?
Okay, so again, if you, depending on how you set these attributes, what it's doing is setting constraints behind the scene. And it is actually, I think there's a way of seeing this.
Do we want it on the bottom though?
Well, no, I'm just showing you what it would look like. So there is this guy down here, debug view hierarchy. If you click on that, hopefully this doesn't take 5 minutes to load.
Where did you just click? I'm sorry, was that the filter?
If you click right down here on this little thing that
To the left.
kind of looks like a pig in a blanket,
Yeah, I don't have.
I don't have that either.
you have to have the app running in order to, because this is, it's a runtime button.
Oh, I was like, I've got it. I don't know what they're talking about. Kinda looks like a pig in a blanket, I guess.
I think like a stubby one. I don't know.
Why did he click it?
I don't know what else that would look like. So anyway, once you do that, you can actually see. Okay, if you click on the button, you should see that it'll show you what all the constraints are that it built out for you. So you can see there's just a ton of these guys. All these constraints were made just from us using the stack view and setting those properties. So just think, Adam, all these that you don't have to do yourself.
Well, I love constraints.
Oh, well then let's skip the stack view and you can just, we'll have an assignment and everyone else can use the stack view and Adam can create the constraints manually.
All oversight.
Yeah, maybe he'll email those assignments out and
Yeah.
personalize them to your liking.
So let's set this back to equal spacing. I'll slide that back up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's go down to the bottom one, which is where the action's going to happen.
The horizontal.
Yeah. All right, so on that guy, let's do axis is horizontal, alignment is, set the alignment to center, distribution, we can set to,
Equal center?
let's set fill proportionally. So I'm kind of experimenting with this a little bit. And that should be good to start with. Yeah, we'll go with fill proportionally, and then we can always change it. Let's set the spacing to be, yeah, about 6. Yeah. Well, 5. Somewhere between 5 and 15 will be fine. All right. Then let's go ahead and get some buttons. We'll grab 2 buttons, drag them out here.
2 buttons.
2 boutons, yes.
I can't get them both in there, so I'll do, there we go.
Boutons. every time I try to expand it, it drops out of it.
Yeah, if you just drag the button up over in the view controller scene and put it on,
Yeah,
it'll,
but then when I try to expand it, it comes up.
that's okay.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah, just leave it at. It'll be all right. So with the first button, let's change the text of the button to be, please add a star.
What was it? Please add a star.
Yeah, and again, once you do that, you notice it expands. So it accounts for the size of the text.
And let me guess, please
Remove the star.
remove the star.
Sure, we could say that. We could say, no, don't do, yeah, do it.
What? What are we doing?
You're gonna remove a star. Of course. Silly you. All right, so now let's go ahead. We don't need outlets for these two guys, but we do need actions. So we have the, I'm gonna close this guy down, have our source file over here. Let's go ahead and make sure you have the please add, make sure you have the button selected, do a control drag, and change it from outlet to action.
Button, stop.
And this will be add star.
You're doing both of them?
Yeah, we will do both of them, but
And you want it to be a UI button?
yep, that should be a UI button. Touch up inside. Connect. Yeah, and then while we're at it, we can do a remove, have add tar. Oh well. That's horrible. UI button and remove star, the T for that S, I mean. All right.
Outlet to action. And then make sure UI button.
Something weird happened there with my action. It actually, like, something really weird there. It looks like it actually embedded it inside my, or embedded the view did load inside it. Oh, that's what. I'm an idiot. I created an outlet.
You couldn't know.
Yeah, that's what I did. All right. So now because I did that, as I've told you guys many times, now I gotta go and I gotta remove the outlet. All right. Do that again. This time, create the right thing. Okay, so now we have those.
Look, it's adding star.
Is it really? Got it all ready to go?
No,
That is fun.
I should play that shot.
All right, so let's go ahead and code this add star first, add tar as I call it.
Can you just add an S in there, or would it?
And no, it'll break it. All right, I do feel really bad about it, though I don't like it. I'm going to remove this. That's just horrid. All right, so
Because I changed this. I think not because it's an outlet. What if it's an action? I don't know.
all right,
What about an outlet? Can you change that?
you can change an outlet, yeah. You can get rid of both of them or change them wherever you want to do it. It's easier just to remove and start over in either case. Trust me. Action,
If it breaks, I don't want
add star. Yeah, Sigbert.
That's nice.
Then you know. All right. So let's see. Make sure I got that wired up right. Add.
That's good.
Okay, so I need to get rid of that guy. Add star. There we go. All right.
I don't understand.
And remove star. Okay, we're good. All right. So with the add star, what we're going to do is we're going to create. We're going to create an image view, and then we're going to set the image to be the star, and then we're going to add that star to the stack view like we normally would. In this case, we don't have to do any of the sizing or positioning. Hopefully, the stack view will do that for us. So what we can do is say let star image UI image view. I got get a little more space here.
You got the editor open.
Yeah, no. Equals UI image view. And we want the image, which is, of course, the UI image. Maybe I should do no, I'm just going to do it this way. You do it all dynamically, image with the name. And it's just called star. Oops. Now, we're going to set the content mode of the image view. Star image dot content mode. So this should keep it from stretching or distorting. Equals dot scale aspect fit, which is the same one we used on the MSTC logo. All right, now what we can do is call self dot horizontal stack view dot add arranged subview. Now there's also add subview. Don't use that. Make sure you use the arranged subview. That's where the magic happens. That's where it positions it and creates the constraints and stuff. If you just do an add subview, it acts like a normal view. And then that's star image that we're adding. All right. And then what we can do is we can make it look kind of cool so that the star will kind of like shift and bounce into position. If we do this, go UI view dot animate with duration. I'm just going to take a stab at 0.3 of a second. Animation. So the animation in this case, first we need to do this. Do that guy. In this case, what we're going to call is self.horizontal stack view .layout if needed. That guy, layout if needed. When that does the job of repositioning the subviews inside it. All right, so let's give that a go.
How many can you do?
I can't see the 3 dots anymore.
Yeah, except I want it to actually position, I want to position them underneath that guy.
Stars have become invisible.
Yeah, mine went off the screen a long time ago.
Yeah, so I need to,
No, mine, what? Mine just became invisible. They kept getting smaller.
So there's got to be, how do we get to move the buttons a little farther apart too?
yep, we're gonna work on that now.
See, mine just got.
All right, so first of all, change the distribution. So if you go into the properties of the horizontal stack view, change the distribution from fill proportionally to fill equally. I'm going to bump up my spacing just a little bit to 8. And then
Not 28, you said?
8. View button. I don't want the button. I want the view. Okay.
Is there any way that, there's no way to actually put a space between those then? Like to put a button on each side? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how the spacing does that. So you mean, on each side of, yeah, that we could if you
So
wanted
you
to.
have the please at a start on this side, and then you have no don't on the other side, so it looks like they're two separate sides.
What I'm actually trying to do is I'm trying to position them underneath. I'm trying to position the stars underneath so that those buttons are on the top, stars are underneath them. Why not? With height is only set to 30, so that's part of the problem, is that the height of the stack view is really small.
My buttons go off the screen.
Can we change the height? I can't change the height though.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that too. Scale to fill.
What are you adding under the view?
Yeah, I'm just experimenting right now, so don't necessarily copy what I'm doing.
I think it's because it's equal spacing.
I think I'm gonna actually set, believe it or not, I think I'm gonna set a constraint on the horizontal stack view. So,
Yeah, but it's taking equal.
Which one we put on?
So which
I'm gonna put a height constraint on the horizontal stack view.
So if we hit the little TIE fighter on the bottom,
Yeah, it's, all right, so the height, yeah, if you click on the TIE fighter,
which
And-
TIE fighter do we want? The little square one?
the square one, and then set the height to be 120, let's say.
Is this on the buttons or on
This is on the horizontal stack view. I'm just playing around with the height. So that's the only constraint that we should have to set, is the height of the. We don't really want any of the other constraints, but I do want to set the height.
Why did it not take it? So then click on the height, change it to
You set it
120.
to what?
I set the height to be 110 or something like that, 120.
Not
Mine is not taking. Why is it not taking?
Yeah, and now it ended up way up on top, so I definitely don't want that.
Yeah, except you-
Because every time I change the height, it doesn't keep.
Well, it didn't work.
Yeah, mine was like flew to the top of the screen.
Yeah, mine did too. So that's not what we want. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have two different. I'm going to create a new stack view. So this is kind of like an experimental thing, kind of like what you do with HTML sometimes. So what I'm going to do is underneath my vertical stack view, I think I'm going to create another stack view to manage this.
Okay, stack.
Yeah, create a horizontal stack view, drag that guy over, and then plop it underneath the MSTC logo on the vertical stack view.
Well, that's weird.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two buttons, these two guys, and I'm going to place them inside this stack view that I just put underneath the vertical.
Is that going to break anything?
No, this didn't actually do what I wanted though.
It has them on top of each other now.
Yeah, it's not, let's see, horizontal.
So now you have to set another.
Set the alignment of the one that you just created, that stack view you just created, change that to be center,
That did not do anything.
distribution equals spacing.
Still didn't do anything.
All right, yeah, it made them
Okay, thanks.
place vertically.
And mine are up on top and bottom.
So no worries, we'll get this figured out.
Is this the fun stuff you're talking about?
Oh, come on now, you guys are really a rough crowd. Let's see.
Which one did you do? Did you do a horizontal, right? Or vertical?
I did a horizontal. So
That would be why I'm having problems. That's awesome.
I'm sizing my bottom one down a little bit too. For some reason, it's acting like it doesn't want to let those two controls go underneath that stack view I just created.
So now you put,
Mine is weird.
Okay, so I have them side by side again, right on top of each other in the
Mine are still.
horizontal stack view.
I think so.
I
so
can't
the
see.
one with the buttons, you put them in,
I'm putting those in that, so the stack view I just created, the horizontal, I'm putting the buttons inside that guy so that it's going to
How'd you get
be,
them on top of each other though?
so then did you just delete the other one?
then no, leave the other one there because this guy actually has an outlet. So what I'm thinking is the stars can go inside that one and the buttons are going to go inside this little one that's inside the bigger one.
How did you get, okay, can you go back to your, the little stack view, the little one right there, yeah.
Yeah.
That one. What constraints use center and equal
I
spacing?
didn't put any constraints on it.
Well, you did the center and equal spacing and alignment and distribution.
Oh, that, yeah, this center
Why
equal
didn't it just
spacing.
show up side by side, like a top and bottom like that.
Because the other one's not in there.
Yeah, the other one's not in there yet. I got to get that one in there yet.
As soon as I do that, mine go like, yeah, just like that.
Well, that's what you want, actually.
Only one.
Now the spacing, there's no spacing. Let's set the spacing to be like, I don't know, like 8 will be good. There. Now these guys, because even though I've been shifting these things around and mucking around with them, the outlets and the actions are still coded up. So it doesn't change. There's still perfectly valid controls. The action should still work. This guy, the other horizontal one, should still have actions, an outlet. So now if I just go ahead and rerun it.
Did you put the horizontal inside of the other one though?
Yes, this guy, the little one that I just created is inside the top vertical one.
Right, but it looks like you have the horizontal and top inside
Oh,
there
it
too.
is?
Yeah,
The horizontal you had before though, that's also in there?
Mine-
Yeah,
No.
you have everything in there based upon the way you got it up and down.
You don't have to,
Mine is.
because I didn't.
Yeah, see, you have everything in there.
I just like to say mine.
Yeah, because there's so much white.
yeah, this guy actually shouldn't be, this guy should actually be on his own.
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Yep.
So how do I drag it out of there now?
You just kind of got to drag, it'll form like a blue outline and you just got to drag it so it's outside of that.
So is the view has, the layer should be a view has a vertical stack view and a horizontal stack view at the same level.
Yep.
And in one level more should be another stack view.
It should be a horizontal stack view inside the vertical. So vertical, horizontal, same level.
It does work if you don't put the new horizontal in the vertical.
It should work either way, I think,
Yeah.
but I got to run it, see what happens when I run it.
God,
Yours are really, when they first start out, they have the bottom.
well,
like
and
that.
Yeah.
my horizontal
Like
is
center.
messed up.
Like
Whoa.
mine,
No, mine,
Whoa!
mine
mine are at
go
the top,
right in the middle of here.
but look at, they just keep like rotating. Mine are like Sean's.
That's what mine.
Yeah, I think I got to remove the constraint on my horizontal in the bottom.
Actually, wait,
So your vertical, if you expand that, and you the horizontal, so
I
you've got
can
two
keep adding
horizontals. You've got
but they
those.
stay
Okay,
on
mine
center
should be better.
nicely.
Really? In this,
Seeing that is not
Yeah.
easy, those little
Here,
things
look
there.
at mine.
But
Yeah.
then you have no
Just
constraints
look
on
at
the
it.
horizontal, right?
I can't.
I do not have any constraints on that little guy.
I
And
put
it
things
looks
in
fine, it looks okay, but I got to get my, I'm going to remove the constraint on my
Oh,
bottom.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that looks like mine.
What'd you do? Did you just
That looks
remove
exactly like
constraints?
mine.
Yeah, I don't have any constraints or anything.
I didn't mean to.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah, yours is right now, you've got the horizontal there. There you go.
Yours looks the same as mine.
Mine?
No, Adam's.
Like where it kind of shows up like perfectly centered in
Yeah.
the middle, but I expanded that cell to make it happen.
Yeah, the
What?
bottom one.
Which
Yeah, like
makes
see how
this-
small your bottom cell is? I took up almost the whole white space underneath there.
Yeah, I
Made it
just
much bigger.
have the bottom horizontal view fill up the remaining space.
Yeah, and then it gives it beautifulness.
Beautifulness?
Beautifulness.
See, now that's exactly what I was telling you guys, that's what I wanted, so.
Yeah, beautifulness.
Except ours was centered nicer, up and down
Because
ways.
we took up the whole space.
Well, now mine goes off the screen, so thanks guys.
We'll give it 5.
Do you have any constraints set?
No,
No, he's got,
no,
so that's because
bring it
that's
up a
too,
little
bring it up. There you go. And you have it set at center. There you go.
Teamwork.
That's such a challenge. think you're just still too wide.
Well, that makes no
Well,
sense.
yeah. Well, it's just because I'm using a small.
It's a 12-star.
If I
It
would
doesn't out of a
switch,
dozen.
That's called awesomeness.
Nope, mine's a 3-star.
I'll switch to a 6 so you guys can have fun with me.
Now, can we get them to, so now mine just looks like a whole bunch of little lines, it's kinda interesting.
Yeah,
So you can get the stars to stack on top of each other now?
Possibly, but
But don't we only
you'd
want
have
them
to make it a
5
little-
stars?
what's that?
Don't we want them to have a max of 5 stars?
Yeah, we could just set some limitation on it, but we have to do.
Maybe some
If you just keep
constraints.
doing it, then they just disappear.
You could do that
Yeah,
too.
but you just get a little line. You see that little
No,
line?
Yeah,
they
but if you keep going, then they really just.
We could-
Stars.
You made
Yeah.
it like pixels.
It's like having another ball.
What we could do is we could do some fancy coding like you suggested, that if it's more than 5, it removes a star and adds a star, so you get some fancy animations going. But first we need to do the remove star.
Remove the stars, nobody removes stars.
Yeah, you just click on it and it does nothing.
You try to remove a star, me, it's
Because
actually,
it's
we should
so-
say, sorry, the program is unavailable.
Put up a little, yeah.
Recycle, this has been a recycling program.
The Stacker app is not responding. All right, so we need to do this kind of thing
No,
again.
you should just have a pop-up that says, "Are you sure?"
And then you click yes and it doesn't do anything.
I don't know, you're really sure?
You're really not sure.
No, it just keeps popping back up until you say no.
Okay, so what we have to do is get the last star in the list. So we can actually do something fancy in our add star where we can call this guy. So we call self.horizontal stack view. That's our guy that contains the stars.
Star.
Dot last. That'll get us the last star in the list, except it doesn't like something.
Doesn't like
Oh, I didn't get that. I missed. Never mind. I missed a property. Horizontal stack view dot arranged subviews is what I need to call arranged subviews dot last.
Oh, there we go. Lost? Lost.
That's you.
Okay. We're gonna need to put a question mark in there or an exclamation point. All right.
The last.
Exclamation. Emphasize that.
Now we got to make sure this thing is not null. If let the star. That's our null check.
Like,
Oh, shit.
Rough night.
Really?
What?
What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get rid of this breakpoint that I just added by accident.
Mine keeps coming up with the star, doesn't like the star, does not like equal the star.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's
Let
just not done.
let it go for now. Yeah, it's all right.
Um,
Self
they're touching now.
dot horizontal stack view dot remove arranged subview is what we want, and the subview is the star, which it doesn't like yet, but hopefully it'll figure it out.
Didn't we use quotes? No, that was something else.
Now, even though we do that, this is kind of, in my opinion, this is kind of a shortcoming of Apple's. I would think this would just remove it, but you still have to call the star dot remove from super view with no IntelliSense.
Yeah, mine didn't have IntelliSense either.
It has something to do with the error we got here. I'm going to clean the app here real quick.
It's that star, every time I try to do the star, it keeps finding the image of the star rather than the let star.
Why is this not allowing me to delete the stupid breakpoint? Anyway, disable it. Initializer for conditional binding.
Can we name it something other than let
Optional
star?
type. Let the star equals. Okay, we'll call it a star.
What are you trying to do?
No, that's the first star. The let star on the top there, mine keeps trying to bring the image in every time.
Oh, you just hit escape. Just
No, it wasn't the.
No, I know that's not the problem, but I'm just changing because you wanted me to change it.
No, go back to the,
Yeah.
Star
but
UI
didn't you say
view.
something about checking to see if it was null?
I don't have an error on mine.
There. The problem was that I didn't have the unwrapping character, the question mark after the UI view. I just had I had this, and when you have that, then it takes it as the container as opposed to the actual literal. So I had to do that. I added a question mark after UI view. Now I could have probably avoided all that pain by just not having that.
It will
It will not work.
No, it still doesn't like that. So you got to have the UI view.
The arrow go away if you just retype remove from superview.
Well, I have to retype A.
Well, yeah.
You do.
All right. Okay. You do a remove from super view. Then what we'll want to do is the same kind of animation we did before. So we can call this guy. And that will reposition the stars. Then we should be good to go.
So the same thing over here.
Oh, it's all fast, okay. It's like something gonna happen.
Should have worked now.
Let's see.
Except it breaks if you try to remove without there actually being any stars.
Because it's null.
It should not break because we have that check, but however, you're right.
Fatal error.
All right.
It broke.
So what we can do is
Can you walk me through that check? Because that doesn't make any sense if that's a check.
this.
Yeah.
So you can think of it as something like if star equal null. That's actually nil. So the if let this guy is kind of equivalent to star not equal to null. It's creating you cannot set a variable equal to a null variable. So that's what this is signifying. It's saying if this guy equals this. So in other words, if this is not null, the result of this operation here is not null. You can say this kind of like this. If this is kind of equivalent to not null or nil. I always say null. If not nil, that's basically what that's saying. Then it continues on.
Okay.
It's there. I don't know why Apple. It's the goofiest syntax ever, but that's what they came up with. This is their if null check.
Yeah, but it breaks when you do it.
Well, it breaks in.
Well, let's try it with this syntax then. Take this out, put it in here, and see if that corrects it.
Well, because it breaks on the left star.
But yeah, because it breaks there because it's saying it makes sense why it breaks.
Because you don't have a star.
Well, it breaks.
Yeah, but it actually breaks because the star is equal to that. It breaks on top.
How do you see where the
Then it makes sense why it breaks there. I can
brackets
see
go
why it breaks there.
again?
Well, yeah.
If you just go and click next to it and then highlight it,
Yeah, I did.
it'll highlight the other one in yellow.
I always want to see if this one works now when you do it.
It could also be dying on this last up here.
Oh, I see.
Right, that's where it died though when we did that.
Okay, then
Because there isn't a last.
all right, then to be safe, then we should probably check up here if self dot horizontal stack view dot arranged subviews not equal to nil and self dot horizontal stack view dot arranged subviews dot count is greater than 0. Then do all this other stuff and get rid of this. put it down here.
Why am I? Area stack view, range, subview, I can't get that to pop, tell us it's not like that.
Say what now? What doesn't it like? All right, so that should solve the problem with it crashing. Hopefully,
Mine doesn't like that somehow, range, can you hold on just 1 second? Range subviews. Is not
Mine's
equal to-
giving me a warning, but not,
yeah, you might get a
Is
warning.
not equal to nil.
Very
And
not optional value.
self
type
dot horizontal
value
stack view
will
dot
always return
range.
true.
Yeah, that fixes the problem, so I can click on the no, don't do it all I want, and it's fine.
And where did you put the brackets? Did you put it on the entire thing then?
The curly brackets, yeah, so that's all contained within that if statement.
Mine's less than brackets here. Mine says,
We still can't get rid of
cannot be
that
applied to
right?
operative type int. Why would we do
Yeah,
that?
you probably can now.
If self dot horizontal stack views dot arranged subviews is not equal to nil and self dot horizontal stack views
I think it's funny that the more
Range
stars you add, the smaller they get, so.
is greater than.
Well, that's because it's auto-sizing them. I mean, either that or you'd have stars piled on top of each other. Okay, so
5 star.
Thought I had the zero, I deleted it.
now I think we should implement Isaiah's idea.
Max stars.
Stack.
Yeah, so to do that, I think I just create a constant variable.
Don't,
Equals 5,
don't.
and then in the add star, then we can just check and see if we got to do this horizontal stack view to arrange subviews. Range of views. Oops, that's not what I want.
Is greater than 4 or 5 next.
Yeah, dot count is greater than or equal to 5. Then what we can do is we can call,
Yeah, what if you use the
Max
constant?
stars?
oh yeah, sorry, the constant. All right. So then what we can do is down here we can call remove star. All right, so yeah, we can call remove star. Passing in sender. And then we can do the rest of the logic to add a star.
So it just literally removes the star and adds a star right away.
Yeah, so you'll get this the shifting.
Well, let's try it.
Mine doesn't like something again. Why? It's just not liking it.
You really want to stand
Because I had.
Oh, it just, yeah, it takes it away, puts it right back.
Well, that's kind of cool.
It's like, hey, you ain't getting no bigger than 5 stars.
You should put a little
Well, gee, it's
pop-up that says, no, 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 no more than 5.
You hit that, it's kind of cool. Looks like a beating heart then.
Well, we could do that. We could create a little alert controller that says that.
Coming from straight across, mine comes from like a diagonal.
It comes, kind of comes like,
Mine comes in more of a diagonal. And mine is.
if you hit it fast, it's like beating heart.
They're playing leapfrog.
Man, they good.
All right, so yeah, we can add a little alert controller if you want.
No, that'll take the fun away from clicking it.
Yeah, we can click fast. And click.
All right, yeah, it would, because then you wouldn't be able to keep clicking. All right, that's about it. That was the first half of what we're gonna do. So now we can go ahead and stop this, and then you guys can continue on with your surveys if you want.
Is that a way of doing it?
Well, actually, you have to, because we have to do them, either we have to complete them now, or you have to complete them another time, but you have to be, has to be in one sitting. All right, stop it.